Get dogs. They're great. Best companions ever. Anywho, welcome back to Veteran Revivals. I'm Art, your veteran idiot. This here is Oscar. Gonna try and do some things to him. We're gonna do a lot more to him today before I recognize there were some issues, and I'll point that out here in a second. But this bed has got to come off, and the battery is actually in the utility box. So I bought a passenger side battery mount tray, and we're going to throw the battery in the front and then get rid of that bed. Found a short bed, couldn't find a short bed kit. There's probably maybe one we could do custom, but there's just a lot of time involved in doing something like that. So we're weighing it out. Maybe have to find a long bed, and the problem is I can't haul it on my trailer, blah, 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 blah. We're working on it. Give us a second. Anywho, this guy, we were also going to swap in the 4L60E that is sitting on the floor in the shop. Get rid of this Turbo 400 because driving it on the highway kind of sucks, although it could live at 3,200 RPM. It's just kind of not great for long trips and so on and so forth. And yeah, so the harness is a factory computer over there that we had a harness built for. The harness, this plug down here, 4L80E. So, I mean, that's what we planned on going with this truck eventually, because we were going to maybe do some turbo or supercharger or something like that. And wanted something a little stronger. So, there are no kits to convert from 4L80 plug to 4L60 plug. There's a ton of them to go from the other way for obvious reasons, but nothing goes this way, so we can't put that 4L60 in here. There's not enough wires coming from the harness. The 4L60 requires like 17 pins or something like that, and this one only has 11. So, bummer, right? Yeah, you're right. We got to figure this out in the best way possible. Yeah, we're probably going to have to find a different transmission for it, just the way it goes, unfortunately. So we're not doing the transmission swap today, and it probably won't pull the bed off, but we will put the battery over here in the driver's side because the intake runs across to that side. So battery over here on this side. Oh, for those of you that don't know Oscar, Oscar is our 84 C20 LS swap that we did early on in the channel. It turned out really well. Had a lot of problems with it. Turned out we were collapsing the intake tube, starving the engine, so it felt like it was bogging down and didn't have any power. Now that's fixed. It runs great. Just need a little more gear on the highway. It's got 410s in the rear and a 14 bolt, which is great. It'd just be nice to have some overdrive, and it was the plan anyways. Okay, let's go ahead and throw this battery box in here, relocate the battery back up to the front, upgrade the alternator wire, and then figure out what we're gonna do for the rest of the day, which I don't really need to figure out. There's a ton of stuff to do for the rest of the day. I just don't know where to start. With that being said, I was going to do this out here, but it's hotter than Mariah Carey in the early 90s, so we're going to go ahead and pull Earl out of the shop, park him somewhere in the shade, somewhere, and which you can't really escape this fiery thing up here, but we'll find somewhere to park it and then pull Oscar into the shop. I got the swamp cooler rolling, and we're ready to swap out this battery in the cool, nice shade. Should have sprayed this off before I brought it in here. That's all right. There's been an animal crawling around on the top of this thing. That's all right. Okay, fair enough. It's been sitting for a minute. All right, let's get this battery tray in here. start to get dirty. Also, if you're not subscribed to this, which about 50% of you watching this are not, you should probably subscribe because it's so easy to do. You just click on it, subscribe, then you get all your alerts. You'll see everything I post. You don't miss out on anything. Also, check out the merch. This is the VR6 Strength, Honor, Idiocracy. Check it out on the website, veteranrevivals.com, as well as all the other merch. I appreciate you. All right. See you later. Okay, this guy. It's made for the diesels and the 454s with dual batteries, but it also works as a single battery tray on one side. This guy, gonna bolt down in here somewheres over the rainbow. Maybe not. So after about 20 minutes of trying to figure it out, I figured it out. Actually, it didn't take me that long. I'm not that stupid, guys. Come on.
I don't believe you.
Anywho, goes right down in there, so we're gonna bolt it in. I'm gonna have to drill a hole in the fender down in the bottom to get that hole. But that is as simple as it gets right there. And then we'll loom this up, get it attached out of the way. Yeah. Also got the factory hold down so it'll look nice and factory. That's what everybody's worried about these days. All right. Camera's possessed. Cool. Now it didn't come with any nuts, and there is no nuts on the back side of this thing, so we're gonna have to make our own. Good thing I got a pile of Chevy nuts over here. I've got nuts and bolts. I do. How about you? What are you guys doing up there? You don't think that's just slightly intrusive, jumping up on the engine like that? Anything to get a view, right? Alright, now we mark that hole down there, drill that, and bolt this thing in here somehow with this out of the way. I don't know. Yeah? See? Come on down. I like it. Come on back. Get on up here. That's right. Get in here. Oh, there's another hole up here. They only gave me 3 bolts though, so I may forego this other one up here because all the wonderful things he does. Good thing there's a little access hole here. Put this nut on here. And then the other one from the other side. Cinch it down. That's it. Battery tray installed. Pulled a muscle. Now this battery's got to come out of here. There's also a draw in this system. Really annoying, and I can't find it. Like I said, I'm not an electrician, so chasing that kind of crap is super annoying for me. However, this is not held down in here. So we're just gonna undo these two and take the battery out, put it in that tray over there, and fish these wires back down through, get to the length we need once we get it up in there. It might be pretty similar to the length we need, even maybe short, I don't know, we'll see. But I don't know, it'd be pretty close. That's what I'm going with. Fish these back around to where they need to be and post them up on the new one. Now all that's left to do is to do it. Shooby dooby doo boop boop. This is the certified appropriate tool to use on everything. That battery charger left a bunch of corrosion on here. Interesting. Oh my god, why are these so heavy? Okay, that was easy. Oh my goodness, this battery seems like it is way heavier than any other normal battery. I don't know why this little block go down in here like chat. Hold that there, right there in place. Why doesn't the bolt fit through, guys? Somebody didn't machine it correctly. Some people's kids, man. Next question is, why isn't this bolt long enough? Really? I'm a freak out, guys. Okay, well, I'm gonna go over to the bench grinder and shave this down a little bit, because yeah. What? Yep. All right. All right, all right, all right. It was like it was meant to be. There we go. Tight. Just tight. So this truck also has a serious issue with being oversprung in the front after ripping out that completely iron 350 with the most heaviest intake manifold on the face of the planet, and throwing in this aluminum LS. Well, it's cast block, but everything else is on it is aluminum. It is significantly lighter, and we moved the battery to the back and everything else out of here, so it became significantly lighter in the front, and it is way oversprung and bounces like a stagecoach. So moving this battery back up front actually helps us out, bring some weight back to the front. Maybe it'll smooth out the ride a little bit. And then when we get a lowering kit, it'll probably be undersprung. Dang it. Okie dokie. Battery's here. Oh, let's throw the charger on it. Alright, sufficiently dirty now after dragging all those wires out from underneath the truck. Pulling them across. I also got rid of the giant battery cable that runs all the way back to the pump that does not work on the lift gate. Maybe the draw ends there, probably not. That's disconnected, ran the wires up over the cross member and across the front. They're nice and secure to come across, and then over here to the battery itself. Sufficient to say that they're long enough. So I'm gonna run over to the O'Reilly's and get some end connectors for the battery here. We can shorten these up, and we'll finish up this job as much as we can today anyways. So I'll be right back. And I'm back. Got a bunch of terminals between 4 and 6 just to make sure that we got the absolute perfect size. This is a 4, but sometimes a 6 fits more snug. Sometimes. Okay, so let's cut these down where they're supposed to be. Right where Squeeze needs them. No more, no less. Where'd the cutters go? Where'd them cutters be? It is really nice in here. I already mentioned it, but man, this swamp cooler is kicking arse. We will use this for the alternator, because this is how we do it. Tricky part's getting this somewhere where I can hammer this nice and flat, or not flat, but dimple it with my dimpler so that it stays put. There's some kind of special container. Throw some shrink wrap. Alright, see if I can get enough of a lump on this firewall to get a good dimple. I think that's good enough. Burn that one down. Know what I'm saying? I'm gonna light you up. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, shrink wrap tight. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Ah, frick. Okay. Save that for later. Nice. That's real nice. Come on, baby, shrink my wire wrap. Swamp cooler's doing too much back there. Trying to blow out my flame. Boom. All right. Should be nice and powered up now. Tighten these lugs. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. All right, let's see if we get crank and power, and then we'll do that alternator wire. We get power. Sweet. All right, let's switch up this alternator wire. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know. Hey. I forget where I ran this guy up. I want to say I ran it up there, if I remember correctly. If I had memory that was correct, I would say I ran it up to that guy. Yes. How does one chase that when it runs through the valley? Yes. Well, I'll be... yes. Let's try something. Try a little thing or two. Okie dokie. Let's do it like that. Good God Almighty. Something, something, something. Let's go whack this on something. Where'd the lighter go? There it is. Oakley dokley. Let's give this a try. Unfortunately, I gotta try and get this thing off because it's locked on there hella tight. Alrighty then. Let's see if we got alternation. What I'm trying to do is I'm just to bypass the factory harness from the 86 that was on the 350. Bypass it completely and run the alternator straight to the battery, but it's still excited from the factory harness. It should push power back through. I'm not an electrician. I don't know which way rivers flow. I just know there's power here and power there, and we'll see if it charges. It looks like we are charging. Let's see what we got. 13.6. All right. So we just need to terminate this end up here, tuck it down in. We'll call it a day, and we've got a 4-gauge wire running up to the alternator for all the amperage. Well, now that that's all tidied up, what I figure we do now is we take this guy on a little test drive road trip over to where Scrappy is at the shop, and then we'll try and figure out the air conditioning. Vintage Air got back to me and they said there's a good chance that there's a frequency interference between the Holley ECU and the Vintage Air because the wires run next to each other and they're running up to a block inside the engine bay rather than back to the actual battery. So what we're going to do is we're going to run some power wires back to the actual battery, maybe the ground too, and see if that gets rid of the frequency interference, and see if the fan stays on and the system stays on and doesn't just kick off. I'm not too convinced on this one, but that's what they said to try, so we're going to try that. They've never heard of this before, which I find kind of hard to believe. I'm sure there are some instances of this that are prevalent, and I may search the forums to find out what other people have seen, but we're going to go ahead and go try that on Scrappy, since we got the rest of the day and no transmission to throw in this guy, and I can't get rid of the bed as well right now. So move on to bigger and better things with Scrappy. Well, you did great. No electrical issues at all. So, all right, I want to work in the shade because hell, which means I need to move Rusty out of the way. So I can pull up in here with Scrappy and we can start figuring out that AC stuff. As always, this truck continues to be reliable and starts on command. Just give it like 25 pumps. Should fire right up. Fire right up. Should fire right up. May have flooded it. Needed to do it on its own. Good old Rusty. I think Derek should have kept this one. It would have been a good addition to Vice Grip Garage. But I can see why he didn't want to. They got the Bluetooth floors in it. This whole channel not connected. Doors, cab, everything. But it's nice. It's real nice. All right, let me pull this thing out before it dies again. Just a good old rusty truck. If it had AC, I'd probably mob it a lot more. And a floor. All right, let's get this thing in here. Whoo, sweet baby Jeebus, it's 3,000 degrees in here. Holy crap. Wow. Phew. Martha fucker. Fingers are burning. Oh, I can't touch. Wow. That is unfortunately hot. Whew. Do not enjoy. $47 pounds of oil pressure. All right. Let that sucker air out for about 25 days. Man. Oh. Frick. It's hot. It's real hot. Okay. Let's get this swamp cooler cooking. Well, swamp cooler is down. It's unfortunate. Maybe we can thread it in from the other side. Yes. Give me a minute. Got an ever so slight drip, but it's working. That's good enough. It'll be all right. So let's start digging into this thing, find out where I put the power wires, which I'm pretty sure are up there by the alternator, and then start running them to the back. Probably gonna have to go get wire. Let's not jinx ourselves yet. Okay, power wires, power wires, power wires. Yep, yep, okay, all right. Let's see, yep, okay. Sure, okay. If you're wondering why you can't hear me very well, it's because this swamp cooler pushes more air than a jet turbine. All right, here is all our power wires. We need to chase down which one would be that of the air conditioner, which would be interesting. The other thought is that the drain tube was plugged and it was filling up with water, which I guess is possible, but I guess that's an easy thing to check. We'll check that real quick. Nope. Alright, so this orange wire, this black wire with these two fuses that go up to the solenoid, those need to go back to the battery. And then these two white wires, which is blower ground and the ECU ground that are here in the fender well, need to also go back to the battery. So we're going to cut this here, keep this ground here, and then we're going to remove these eyelets up here on the solenoid. Take that entire harness, unclip it from all the zip ties, push it back through the firewall, through the dash, all the way around, back over to that side of the kick panel, all the way back, into the back, and all the way back to that freaking battery, all the way back there. Something tells me we're going to need more wire. Something tells me I'm into something good. Don't short it out on anything. Yeah. There's about 35 wires on this solenoid, so that'll be nice to remove a couple of these. Alright, I don't know what that red one is. Yes, these two. Alright, those out of there. Put this little red guy right back where he's supposed to be. Right there. I think that's the ECU harness. Nope, that power is run all the way back to the battery. Might be the hot side of a relay or something. Couldn't rightly tell you. I don't know. Clip that. Alright, that whole harness is free. We are going to clip these two fuses, because I won't fit them back through the firewall, plus we're extending all of this anywho. I'll keep those, throw them in the back, and fold this whole mamma jamma back through the firewall. Nothing tell me I'm into something good. And it also said that I needed one of those little magnetic blocks on the positive side of the coil, reduce radio signal interference. So we'll pick up one of those at the store too when we grab a bunch of this wire. Maybe that'll reduce a lot of it. Back through the firewall you go. Ow! Hopefully nothing is fed in between all these wires so I can just pull it over the dash without any significant difficulty. We all know how things go and how they get wired. Okay, we're done up here. Sweet. Only got one cut. Gone about as far as I can go right now without going to get wires. So we should go and in fact get wire. So I pulled it over from that side, pulled it out over. This is our power and ground for both the ECU and the blower. Blower being the larger gauge, ECU being the smaller gauge, and we need to run it back and over, but I'm out of wire, thus the necessity to go get some wire. So let's take Rusty, since he hasn't been out on the road in a while, and it's super hot outside, why not break down in the heat? If you can get a chance to drive some old rusty vintage equipment. Yeah. 45 pounds oil pressure. Cruising right along. This truck's great. It may be falling apart, and it may be gutless, but it was once seized, now lives, and it just keeps living. Loving every minute of it. What a good little truck. I'm hot. I'm gonna get out of this good little truck. Okay, so the one thing that I could not get and could not find at either O'Reilly's or AutoZone was the RF noise reducer, or the little pill that goes over, that I was going to put over the ignition wire, the positive side of the coil, but could not find one, so I'll just get one off of Amazon at some point. I'm going to go ahead and start running this wiring back to the back. You're not going to miss much by it because I'm just going to be digging through the back seat and everything else like that. Once I get to the back, we start hooking things back, then I'll get back with you. Okay, everything is run, the whole thing from front to back, ran it away from the ECU power wires, over and around. The ECU power wires go that way. So they're isolated. Only thing we can do now is give it a try, take it for a drive, see what it does. I don't think this is gonna fix it, but that's what they recommended. They do build the stuff, so they gotta know something, right? All right, let's go take it back to the house and see what it does. Idle for, I don't know, a while, 10 minutes or so. Still on, and it's still cold in here, so we're gonna head back home and see if it stays on for the whole trip. Also, there's really only one way to know if the air conditioning is working, and that's with a smoky burnout. Still works. Oh, we made it all the way back home. The AC is still blowing really cold. I think one of the hoses popped off on the back because my legs are frozen. There's some air blowing out from underneath the dash. Only problem now is that it's surging so bad that it keeps dying every time I push in the clutch and step on the brake. I don't know what to do with these idle issues. It is absolutely the dumbest thing ever, and it doesn't seem to matter what we do with it. I know everybody keeps putting in there, reset the idle, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff is gone. It's a Holley Terminator X now with a factory IAC and TPS. All the other stuff is gone. All those other resets, they don't matter anymore. It should be working off of map and the IAC, and for whatever reason, either this IAC can't keep up with it, or the map isn't reading appropriately, or something. It just, the idle just will not stay steady. Will not. Ever. It works for a little bit and then it goes away. Now it's so bad, like I said, as soon as I push in the clutch to step on the brake, it dies. So every single stoplight, every single stop sign, everything, I have to heel toe it like a cart driver to try and keep it running. It's just, it's rough, it's hard. It's something I'm gonna have to like dig through the tunes, see if I can't figure out what to do with this thing. All I know is that with the AC blowing as cold as it is, it still makes me want to burn it to the ground. Anyways, we got the AC working again, it seems. I'll keep you guys updated. But as for now, that's the end of this episode, and we'll try and dig into the idle. Can't try and dig into something. We'll probably end up replacing that IAC with one from the Focus. But that's gonna be on another episode. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have fun. Just don't burn your Foxbody to the ground.